Am I the asshole for not letting my sister have the first baby name we both loved? So, I, 28F, have been married for 3 years, and my husband and I are expecting our first child. My sister, Kate, 30F, has been trying for a baby for a while but hasn't had any luck yet. A couple of years ago, we both talked about baby names we liked, and we both fell in love with the name, Luna. We joked about who would get to use it first, but neither of us was pregnant at the time, so it wasn't a serious thing. Fast forward, I'm now pregnant, and my husband and I decided we want to name our baby girl Luna. When I told Kate, she flipped out, saying that I'm stealing her baby name and that it's not fair since she's been wanting to use it for years. I reminded her that we both liked it, and it's not like I'm doing this to spite her. I just genuinely love the name. Now, she's telling our family that I'm being insensitive and selfish for not letting her have the name, especially since she's struggling to get pregnant. Our mom even suggested I pick another name to keep the peace, but my husband and I have our hearts set on Luna. Am I the asshole for wanting to use the name we love, even if it's the one my sister also wanted? Your title is inaccurate. You're not letting your sister use the name. In fact, it's close to the opposite. I have about 4 cousins with the same name. They're all named after the same relative. And guess what? Everyone's fine with it. You would be in the wrong if you said that since you're making your kids Luna, she can't name hers Luna. But she is just as free to use the name as you are. It could even be a special bond the 2 cousins share. But in no world should one or the other of you be able to dictate which name is used. Not the asshole. Kate has known for years that you like the name Luna as much as she does. It's not like this is a huge surprise. You're not even telling her she can't use it herself. I think it's more likely she's hurting over her pregnancy struggles. She's focusing on the name because it's easier to think about. Give Kate some space. Hopefully, she'll come around once she's had time to settle. Use the name. I'm guessing the issue isn't really the name. Your sister is probably hurting from struggling to conceive, and it can be so extremely difficult to see others get their precious baby while TTC for years. I think the name is just a crux to voice her pain. No assholes here. Personally, I'd pick another name. That's assuming you love your sister. I'd pick another name mainly because Luna is a really popular dog name. Tears of joy. If Luna is the real name, don't worry about both of you using it because there will be 3 other Lunas in your child's class at school, and the ones who aren't called Luna will have dogs called Luna. It's everywhere. No one owns a name, and you could name your daughter Luna and technically be in the right. Just like she could still name a future daughter Luna and be in the right as well. However, I do think this is a case of maybe considering if this is a hill worth dying over and if you and your sister can come to an agreement that no one uses the name. Edit. I think this is really dependent on what your relationship with your sister is like and if this is something you think both of you can move past with an easy agreement. Edited. Am I the asshole for selling my Eras tour tickets instead of giving them to my sister-in-law? Hi everyone. I'm 31F living in San Diego. About a year ago I got 2 tickets to Taylor Swift's Eras tour for this December in Vancouver, Canada. My sister-in-law, 29F, has never been a huge Taylor Swift fan. She even was offered a chance to go to the Eras tour last year but said no because she doesn't like her music that much. But I asked if she wanted to go with me and she said yes. Fast forward a couple of months and I am now expecting a baby. The concert is December 6th and my due date is December 7th. At first I was adamant I was still going to try and make it to the concert, but I soon came to the realization it just wasn't in the cards for me. I offered to let her have the tickets if she wanted to take her daughter who is a big Taylor Swift fan, and she said she didn't want to go if I wasn't going. A couple weeks go by and I tell her I'm thinking about just selling my tickets and she tells me she's still going with or without me and that her nail tech wants to go with her, which kind of put me off a little because they're my tickets and not hers to be deciding who is using them. She never even offered to pay me face value for them. Long story short, I end up selling the tickets for $4,000 in total, which will be a perfect little nest egg for me while I am on maternity leave. She has since completely stopped communicating with me. We were pretty much best friends before this. She doesn't reply to anything I send her about the baby, ultrasound pics, etc., stopped sharing her location, and now is looking to go out of town the day of my baby's shower, which has been planned for months. So, am I the asshole here? I offered to let her have the tickets if she wanted to take her daughter. She said she didn't want to go if I wasn't going. I tell her I'm thinking about just selling my tickets and she tells me she's still going with or without me and that her nail tech wants to go. First she won't go without you, then she invites her nail tech? That's massively presumptuous, especially since she didn't contribute to the cost of the tickets, lol. Wow. Not the asshole. Your sister-in-law got greedy and you have a backbone, so date her loss, lol. Your tickets, your rules. Congrats on the baby and the big lump of money you got for your tickets. Not the asshole. She already said she didn't want them. She can't just assume you'll hold on to them indefinitely in case she changes her mind. It's important to note also that she never once tried getting her own Eras tour tickets. It was never something she was interested in and the expectation was that she was going to get to go for free and I was just going to give them to her. I ended up selling the tickets for $4,000. So your sister-in-law, who isn't a big Swiftie, so much so that she wasn't willing to go without you, suddenly turns around and is going with her nail tech, rather than her own child who is a TS fan. And you say you were able to sell the tickets for $4,000? Huh. I wonder if sister-in-law got word of just how much people are willing to pay for those tickets and that's what spurred on her change of mind. It would explain why she's so pissed about tickets she didn't want in the first place. Curious behavior. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It wasn't a big deal to her until her nail tech got excited about the tickets. She should have offered you a fair price for both tickets when you told her you were thinking about selling them. It's pretty entitled to think she'd get tickets worth $4,000. Holy hell, for free. Not the asshole. She said she didn't want to go if I wasn't going. She tells me she's still going with or without me. Which one is it? And the fact that she decided to take her nail tech instead of her daughter tells me that she's probably trying to get a better deal for her next appointment. It's also pretty entitled of her to expect you to just give her the tickets for free. Am I the asshole for not telling my brothers to spend time with our mother's affair baby? Long story short, my mother cheated on my father 4 years ago and got pregnant. My father forgave her and raises my half-sibling as if she were their child. She looks just like my mother, so only a few members of the family knows what happened. I didn't know about what had happened either because I live with my boyfriend. It was my brothers who told me everything. I'm not close to my parents anymore. I'm not interested in being close with their daughter because I'm not going to get into my parents' drama and toxic relationship. It's their lives, period. But when all that happened, I was already 25 years old. While my siblings were still living with them when all the infidelity was discovered, it was in the house, so they saw everything. Coming to the present. My siblings never had a good relationship with my mother again. No, some families can't afford family therapy, so it was never an option. 2 of them no longer live with our parents and the only one left, he is 16 years old, has come to live with me and my boyfriend. None of them have any contact with my parents' daughter or my parents. The 16-year-old ignored the 3 of them when he was at home. Now I've been paying him for the psychologist. My father and mother have let my brother live with me, but they keep insisting that I should talk with my brothers and make them spend time with her. I can't force them to do something they don't want to do. But my father insists that I am the older sister and I should do something for the good of the family since my brothers listen to me. My mother went so far as to tell me that the little girl asks for us even though we have never seen her. Even my grandparents are insisting that I should talk to my siblings and convince them to spend time with her, but I don't know what to do, and all my family who knows about this. My mother's sister and grandparents, the rest of them doesn't know anything, I think, or maybe they know but they don't care. Says I'm an awe for not doing my duty as an older daughter. Edit. I feel like I have to repeat this, but no one is hating a little girl, neither my siblings nor I hate her. We want her to be happy, but we prefer to worry about our own mental health. She's 4 years old. A 4-year-old girl doesn't do anything without her parents, so letting her into my life is letting my parents back into my life. When my brother is of legal age, I plan to cut off all contact with them again, which is now only online. Meanwhile, all my siblings have their own reasons for not having contact since they lived through our parents' toxic relationship. My parents are just drama and I'm sick of it. I don't understand the comments saying that I abandoned her. She doesn't even know me, she's not my daughter. Why do so many talk as if I have the responsibility to raise her just because I am her half-sister? I mean, a lot of people in the comments thinks and says the same things as my mother, so I'm even more confused than before. Not the asshole, not your monkeys, not your circus. Your mom fucked around and was found out. Your siblings do not need to have a relationship with your half-sibling if they do not want to. Good for your brother to be going to therapy. You paying for it makes you the A++ of big sisters. Be prepared for your parents to keep on guilting you, and prepare to go LC&C if they keep pestering you and your brother. Not the asshole. It's not your fault your mother made a mistake in her past, and your parents can't force you to mend relationships for her. You are completely in the right by saying, I can't force them to do something they don't want to do. If she wants a good relationship with her children again, that is her responsibility. The guilt tripping with the little girl is disgusting, saying she asks for you even though you've never seen her. It sounds like they need to get their shit figured out before they start telling you what to do. No burden like that should be placed on children, despite their age. You said it already. You can't force your brothers to do something they don't want to do. It's tough because your half-sister didn't do anything wrong and is probably just as much of a victim as the rest of you kids are, but you shouldn't do something that you know in your heart you don't want to do just because of some obligation that others have forced upon you. Your mother cheated, and this is one of the consequences of what she did. None of you owe her anything to make her life easier. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your mom made her bad choices. Your dad made his choice. Your siblings made theirs. Not the asshole. It's clear that your family is in a difficult situation, but it's unfair to put the responsibility of mending relationships on you, especially when the root cause lies in your parents' actions. Your siblings have been through a lot, and their feelings towards your parents and the child are valid. Not the asshole. Your parents are continuing to make poor choices by thinking they can force people into a relationship. You are doing something good for the family by resisting this, and letting your brothers live their lives. Am I the asshole for ruining my stepsister's birthday? My stepsister turned 15 last Saturday. She wanted a family dinner to celebrate. My dad and her mom agreed and invited my dad's side of the family since none of her bio family are in her life. I, 16 female, was supposed to be there, but the night before I slept at my grandparents' and then my extended family decided to spend the day with me instead. They told my dad the morning of. They had a fight. Dad called me and told me I needed to get them all there, including me, that my stepsister would be crushed if none of us showed up for her. I told him I didn't care. He tried to make us go and make me leave my grandparents' house, but we'd left already, and he called us a bunch that morning in panic mode. For the background. My stepsister's bio father isn't in her life, neither are his family. Neither are her mom's family. It was just them until her mom met my dad 6 years ago. My mom died 2 years after she walked out on me and dad. I was close to her family and to my dad's family, and most of all my dad. I have some issues with the whole mom leaves and then dies, so no chance to find out why stuff. But I never really missed her. I just needed my dad, and he did give me his time. Until he met his wife. His time went all to her and her daughter, and when we all moved in together it went on her daughter. Sometimes I was included, but it was mostly one-to-one them. When I asked Dad for time, he'd tell me he needed to make up for her not having a dad, and how I could let his wife make up mom to me. I told him I needed him. I didn't need the woman who abandoned me or the woman he was now dating. I needed him. He told me not to be so greedy with him, and I'd had him alone for years. I told him it didn't mean I stopped needing him, and he said I had to grow up. I asked for years but always got brushed off. My dad's family would step in, and my dad was like, "You need to treat both girls the same," and he told them they couldn't be family for me and not her. He'd get mad if they got me more, but always got his stepdaughter more. One Christmas she got a Switch, 10 games and a TV for her room. I got 2 games I didn't like, even though I was told to make a list, and clothes. For my 16th birthday, Dad refused to join me and his family to celebrate at their house. He said my stepsister had a play she was in. Because I chose my birthday over her play, he didn't get me a gift either. My grandparents found this out Friday night when I was at their house. This is what led to them deciding they were going to prioritize me. After all the crazy of Dad finding out calmed down, and my stepsister was a mess because we didn't show to her birthday dinner, Dad told me to stay with my grandparents. I'm still here. But he showed up yesterday after school and he told me my behavior was disgusting, and as her big sister I should have been there for her and saved her from feeling hurt. He said I was selfish to my core. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your dad needs to learn how to parent, you are not equal. She is not his daughter, you are. All children need to feel love and feel special to their parents. I think your dad thinks his heart is in the right place, but he screwed up. You are not alone. This happens quite often when a man gets a new wife. Previous children tend to get left behind. It sounds like you can use some grief counseling by yourself and also sessions with your dad to work through this. At 16, you can't just figure this out on your own, you are still growing into yourself. I am sorry that you are feeling abandoned, the one person who should be there for you. Not the asshole, you are still a child and he is an adult. He is shirking his parenting responsibilities when it comes to his biological daughter to cater to stepdaughter Prob because that puts him in good graces with the new wife. He has no idea the repercussions of his emotional neglect. You are not the you are a kid and your feelings are hurt, and that is valid. However, intentionally hurting your stepsister's feelings because you are hurting isn't going to make you feel any better in the long run. It's ridiculous dad demands his family treat both daughters bio and step the same yet displays favoritism at every turn. It's painful to be passed over by a once beloved parent. Unfortunately, it might be years if ever before he figures out the damage he's done you. Focus on the family who values you and plan for life after high school. Not the asshole. Move in with grandparents. So he's making up for her not having her dad in her life, by making sure you don't have your dad in your life? I know you have extended family while she doesn't, but it sounds like she's getting 2 parents and you're getting none. I'm guessing you don't have a close relationship with your stepmom. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, honestly he doesn't deserve you. Cut the man out when you're old enough and enjoy the people in your life that prioritize you. He's in the wrong but of course can't see that cause he finally got a lady keeping his bed warm he need to impress.